Today we're going to talk about frequency response, specifically how it impacts the sound of the speaker. You can visually see how a speaker is going to sound. And you might say, well, how would I know that from a line on a chart? Well, this is what the manufacturers do when they make a frequency response chart, so they themselves can tell how the speaker is going to sound, so they can tweak it, adjust its crossover, etc. The problem is that they very rarely ever show these graphs. Reason being is they might think you misunderstand it, but most likely they're hiding it because it's not a very good graph. And they want to make the speaker sound enticing, but not accurate. Enticing sells, accurate might not. So here we go. Let's explain here what this means for those who do not understand it. Over here we have the bass response. This is where the drums and the bass guitar are at. And here it shows a bump, meaning it's above 0. That means it's going to be thumpy or boomy, especially if it's near a wall. This is the mid-range. This should be close to 0 and as flat as possible. It's not so bad through here, but in reference to the bass, it's subdued. Here it starts to climb, where you get quite a bit of a bump here, maybe 5 decibels. You're going to notice that in the upper mid-range as a harshness or a forwardness to the sound. It wears on you eventually, but initially it's quite enticing when you go into hear it in a studio. They play it, it sounds inviting, it sounds transparent. Same with the high treble here. It gets pretty hot in the treble, and that sounds like transparency or shimmery. That too can become old and wear upon you. So basically what you really want is a fairly flat frequency response. That is not essentially what people truly want to hear. So I'm going to show you the Headphone Curve, which is the curve for ideal frequency response. The ideal curve as determined by Headphone Curve. They did a lot of tests regarding how speakers and headphones should sound. Almost all headphones these days are tuned, hopefully, regarding the Headphone Curve determined by Headphone Curve. It's how perceptions of speakers sound when people find them to be ideal sounding or pleasant or pleasing. You'll notice here in this curve that there's a bit of a bass bump here, but it's gradually sloping down towards the treble or the brightness. So people like it to be a little on the warm side, as flat as possible through the mid-range and lower treble, so there's no emphasis on vocals or things don't sound shrill or cupped or anything like that. And then it just gradually rolls off. That is the ideal response. In your room, this might not sound right. If your room is overly damp, for example, you have a couple sofas in there and some thick curtains, you might want this to be more level through here and have a little more tweeter energy. I prefer my sound to be a little on the brighter side of normal, so I like it to be more flat through here. My hearing isn't what it used to be, so that's what I prefer. Some people who like a warmer sound, a little more bass, might want a little more of a bass bump. But overall, this should be the curve that you're shooting for and what you're looking for when you're examining a speaker's frequency response.